Alright guys, if you're a business owner who's sick of burning out, in this video I'm going to teach you how to recover from it, I'm going to show you what causes it, and then how to fix it quickly. So let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so this is you, or maybe it was you, or it's going to be you. We all burn out, we've all faced it before, right? Very stressed, it's hard to focus, and you've completely lost motivation to work on your business, right? And what that leads to is an energy drop, which is no good, right? Let's get into the most common causes as entrepreneurs, as business owners, right? And that is overworking, an unhealthy lifestyle overall, and a big one, if I were to rule out one big one as well, it's lack of sleep, right? A lot of entrepreneurs just don't prioritize their sleep. They don't understand how it's actually affecting their day, right? But these are often the biggest causes, right? A lot of people think it's just like mindset. My mindset isn't strong enough. I just need to have a stronger mindset because Alex Hormozy and Gary Vee tell me to just work harder, right? Guys, I'm not here to tell you, as I'm going to remind you in every video, I'm not here to tell you to just be a health hippie and just be a freak. I want you guys to work hard. I want you guys to get to your goals fast and scale your business without burning out, right? It's all good to work very hard. It's all good to, skip sleep a little bit. It's all good to be a bit unhealthy, not socialize, etc. But what does that lead to? It leads to here, which you guys need to be aware of and acknowledge what you did wrong, right? And this happened to me so many times over and over. But anyways, let's just get straight into it. So the impact of that is obviously decreased productivity, right? If we talk specifically about overworking, when you overwork, you neglect habits, you neglect letting your brain recover. Because guys, our brains, we are, I don't like to compare ourselves to cavemen, but the way we're wired really is to hunt and then rest. Rest really well, hunt really hard. It's not about hunt, and then never resting, right? And I know you can speak to all the millionaires and the billionaires. They understand this very well, right? They know that what you do outside of your work has the biggest impact of your work, right? If you lack sleep, if you have an unhealthy lifestyle, and you work too much, you're going to burn out. Things are going to be very shit, right? So how can we fix it? So the foundations, I find, guys, there's a few things here, but whenever you neglect even just one of them, you can kind of start feeling the burnout coming. But whenever you have all of these dialed in at once, you're in this like God mode, as some of my clients say, and I understand it. When you have all this dialed in, you're just on the fast track to scaling your business without burning out. And so the first one is quality of sleep. And I put this first because this is probably the most impactful thing. It is the biggest energy drainer or giver, right? If you have chronic sleep deprivation, you're pretty much dysfunctional. Like you're pretty much cooked. Anyways, I've got videos on sleep and diet and all this stuff. So I'm not going to get too into it now, right? I'm just going to point out the foundations, the things that are causing you to burn out, right? If you're not sleeping properly, guys, you cannot expect yourself to perform well and not burn out. So this should be your number one priority. Fix your schedule. I know you guys, you push work up until late, and your scheduling is all messed up, and you get that fear and that anxiety at night. You need to keep working, but it's a vicious cycle. It's a hamster wheel where you neglect sleep, and you keep, because you want to work, and then you wake up late, and you're catching up on work, and then you skip sleep again. Get off the hamster wheel, cut work early, go to sleep, or whatever's causing it. It's not more important than your sleep. So that's the main thing I want to say for sleep. Most things are not more important than your sleep. Even things like, anyway. Nutrition, right? Probably the second biggest impactful thing. Like, if you sleep perfectly, if you sleep bad for 1 to 2 nights, you can kind of get away with it if you eat perfectly. But again, after like maybe the third night, things are going to go really bad. If you're sleeping very well, but eating very bad, you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna get the brain fog. You're eating processed food. Your gut is gonna flare up. You're gonna have inflammation, which is gonna cause the brain fog. Energy dips. If you're not eating the right way, as in how much to eat, when to eat, for your blood sugars, eating clean, avoiding processed food, nutrient dense foods that are easier to digest, supporting your gut health, supporting your brain, supporting your physical health, then you're gonna feel terrible. I'm not gonna go too into it. Now, exercise, right? This includes just general movement. We are made as human beings to move. When you don't move, you can feel anxious, you can feel weird, some people more than others, right? But sedentary is not how we're biologically wired. We cannot thrive in a sedentary lifestyle, just sitting around doing nothing. And there's a photo of a gym here, right? If you're a guy, like improving, your muscle mass, lowering your body fat is going to help a lot with your testosterone, which is going to help a lot with your performance. That is the main leverage for overall performance, right? So testosterone, as well as just moving more throughout the day, in the morning and the afternoon, this is going to help, lower your stress, move blood around, move oxygen around, move the nutrients around your body, get your blood flowing in your brain, help you just, honestly, I notice when I just go for a walk in the morning or in the afternoon after lunch, I'm able to sustain energy for longer. I'm able to work longer without having a break, right? So exercise is super important. Even just 30 minutes a day. If you're not exercising at least 30 minutes a day, as in just walking, then start with that. Start with a 10-minute walk, right? And then if you're okay with that, start getting into the weights. Depending where you're at with your body composition, you might need to cut, you might need to bulk, adjust your caloric intake, and then either go on a strength program either way. But you'd either be in a caloric deficit or a surplus to optimize your hormones, right? You want to get in that right testosterone range, right? Because it's going to massively benefit you. I noticed for myself, if I start working too hard, just like these mistakes here, if I start working too hard and doing all this stuff, my T levels go down, my confidence goes down, my stress goes up, my energy is lower, everything gets messed up. I always make sure to hit the gym, hit the weights, do some boxing, get the blood flowing, get the endorphins going, right? It's going to help you sustain your performance. And I'm sure you guys know, out of any example I'm going to give, you guys feel good after you exercise. So don't let that go. Do something every day, but it doesn't have to be crazy intense, right? And that also goes for exercising too hard, is another point I want to talk about. If you're exercising too hard, aka you're like an athlete and you're training twice a day, or you're just training very hard every day, you can go to a point where you're actually lowering your testosterone and you're under recovering, right? Especially if all these other things aren't in order. You're not really going to recover from this, you're going to burn out, right? So again, all of these have to be dialed in, and it's not hard to dial them in once you understand. And you could create a schedule and a system that works perfectly for you. And on that note, if you want me to create a system that works for you and your individual lifestyle with your goals and your business, then shoot me the word audit on Instagram. Link is in the bio, and I'll figure out your situation, give you a game plan. But anyway, mental. So focus. If you don't have the ability to focus, I notice that this really it deteriorates your mental health in a way. Because if you're not able to sit and get into a flow state where nothing else matters and you're just super locked in, you're in the zone, life kind of sucks. Like if I'm not able to get into a flow state, that means by default, I'm kind of multitasking and my brain is kind of scattered and I'm task switching. So you want to be able to get into a flow state. If you don't know how to get into a flow state, you need to learn how. I have a focus masterclass I made a while ago. It's privated right now. You can message me for it, but I'm probably going to make another one, re-upload that. But super important to get into a focus masterclass. And I must say that all of these impact each other. Like to focus better, you need to sleep better, you need nutrition, you need all this. So I find that with all these that I'm going to speak about, you kind of need most of them locked in at once. Otherwise, one doesn't really work. You kind of need to have all of them working and then boom, you're in God mode. But getting into a focus flow. So if you don't know how to focus, that's a big issue, right? A lot of you guys probably already do know how to. It's hard in the world we live in now. Your dopamine system, task switching, training your brain through task switching, through scrolling, through just doing many things at once is going to increase your stress, and life is going to be less enjoyable when you cannot just get into flow states and build something you're proud of, get into your work, right? And that leads me to number 2 in the mental aspect, which is stress management. Now, if you're not able to manage your stress, you're going to be fucked. Like, I don't need to explain it. If you're stressed all the time, you cannot manage your stress through even using your mindset. Obviously, sleep, exercise, nutrition, focus, all these things help with stress management, right? All these other things. If you're not managing your stress properly, you're going to feel terrible. Not only that, when your cortisol is high, your testosterone is going to be low, which again is one of the biggest leverage points we can have as men, right? So you want to try and control your stress. Sometimes you're very stressed and you just push through work, but only do that when you have to. Take time off. As I said, do a hunt and then get off, recuperate, rest, recover, aka eat, drink, sunlight, socialize with people, do something you enjoy, get your energy up, lower your stress, come back to your work. Especially because if you're working when you're stressed as well, your energy comes off in a really bad way, and people can sense that. And a big part of stress management is just removing as many things as you can from your life and your mental bandwidth. Right now I'm dealing with a bit of drama with some girl and like my rental thing here, and that I can feel that just eating away at my stress management, or like my stress bucket is like becoming full. And I'm like, before this, it was so much easier to get into a flow state. It was so much easier to focus. But it just goes to show you, your stress management, your mental bandwidth needs to be handled. It's just going to make everything way easier. If you're watching a bunch of TV series and you have drama going on with your girlfriend and your friends, and all these things are going on in your brain, and you have decisions you haven't made, this all just gives you stress and just eats away at your mental RAM. And just like a computer, when the RAM is full, the computer just spazzes out. Right? So you need to just try and lower your stress. Keep your life simple, low stress. Only have one focus at a time. Or 2, just go to the gym, eat healthy, just be healthy and work hard on your business, right? Whenever you can eliminate stress and decisions, you're gonna just find it way easier and better. You have more mental bandwidth to focus on your business, right? So moving on, the next one. Now this is one that I would say I neglected for a while. I was just kind of like that lone wolf type, especially when I was getting into the business. I didn't have the friends that I had now, like-minded entrepreneurs. You know, I was only hanging out with my friends maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, and I was just, you know, locked in. Guys, that locked in shit is terrible. Like, social isolation will eat you up. And I just spoke to a friend about this, and he was not socializing as much. And I told him, I'm like, man, you're gonna just enjoy life better. Your energy is going to be so much better. You're going to enjoy life more. It's going to reflect in your work more when you're connected with people. We are social creatures. We're meant to be part of a tribe. We're meant to be part of a community, around people every day, socializing with people every day, which is why I also don't like living in cities that much, because you can find that you're just in a routine of, you know, waking up and working, and then maybe going for a walk, going to the gym, maybe seeing one person at the gym, and maybe calling your friend and then going back. Whereas like if you're living on an island, or if you're living with your friends, maybe sharing a house, you're with each other, you feed each other energy and ideas and exchange, you know, thoughts, that kind of thing. You're just around people, you just feel better as a human being. Your energy is way, way higher when you're with people and you have a social connection, right? So call your friends, you know, be cool with your family, just do whatever. Like, you need to have a good social connection. You're gonna just operate better as an entrepreneur. And I find that this is a big burnout causer for me. I know that I can have all the other things, but if I don't have a social connection, it's only a matter of time before I start just not enjoying life. I just burn out, and I'm like, why am I doing this business for anyway? I'm just a fucking loner, right? So super, super important, that one. Now, next one, self-awareness. So I always say that self-awareness is like a superpower. You can be aware of what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and then you can course correct. For example, this self-awareness is going to help you with all these things that I've talked about and all the things I'm going to talk about. You can become aware of what you're doing wrong, how you're thinking. Are you thinking negatively? Are you thinking as a person you want to be? You know, not to get all spiritual, but I think that's super important. Become self-aware of your thoughts, of your actions, of the person you're becoming. To keep it simple, think about that, and then course correct. Become self-aware, right? To improve with that, I mean, you can just take time alone, whether you're meditating, whether you're journaling, whether you're just speaking to people. Become more self-aware, and your life will improve a lot, right? Next one, managing emotions, right? So I wouldn't say I'm the best person in the world at this. It's something I'm still definitely improving upon. I've definitely improved a lot, but if you're not able to manage your emotions, you're going to do stupid things. You're going to annoy people. You're going to piss people off. You're going to make bad decisions in business. Manage your emotions better. I'm not going to coach you. I'm not a therapist or anything, but do things that you know, just, I'm sure you guys know by now how to manage your emotions. Just make sure you're managing your emotions, and you will operate better as a business owner. If you're always angry or always up and down, whatever, figure out what you're doing wrong and try and just be more consistent. And when you feel emotions, stop and ask yourself, just like the self-awareness, what's annoying me? Okay, is there a decision I have to make? Do I need to do something? Which often it is. Why am I pissed off? Why am I sad? Oh, it's because of this. Okay, and then you talk to yourself, you kind of figure it out. Okay, cool. And then you move on. You need to manage your emotion, right? Now, we're getting to the juicy part, right? This is definitely more spiritual. I already spoke about a few spiritual things, but a clear vision. Now, this is one thing I didn't really have only about a year ago. I was doing kind of all the other things correct, but I didn't really have a clear vision of what I want my life to be, who I want to become, right? It wasn't crystal clear. You want to have a clear vision. And honestly, I think this might be step one, to be honest. I mean, all the other ones you can kind of fix immediately. It's very easy. I mean, just all these things you can fix today, right? But this one can take a bit of time. It's not easy to gain clarity, and I understand that. Sometimes you lose clarity, you lose focus of what you really want, but if you want to like truly understand what you want and be clear on it and actually feel emotion towards it, like what do you want your life to be? Like, who do you want to become in a year, in 10 years? That should excite you, right? Something you're working towards. It's what you're doing all this for. Why are you sleeping good? Why are you eating good? Why are you training? Stress, focus, managing, for what? For what? Your vision, right? And then your mission, the way I differentiate it is like, that's what you want it to be like or look like, but then this is what you're actually going to do. I kind of feel like they're quite similar. Your mission is like what you're doing, and then this is like what you're getting when you do it, if that makes sense. I'm sure you guys might have different definitions, but yeah, that is what I would say. So yeah, again, just a recap, right? Burnout zone, you're stressed, you're lacking focus, you got a loss of motivation, you cannot be fucked working, you're stressed, right? And you've got low energy, and you just sat there like, what am I doing? Maybe you're spiraling, maybe you're in a bit of a rut, right? Again, unhealthy lifestyle, overworking, lack of sleep is a common cause, which is destroying your productivity, right? Sorry, I can't speak today. And then to improve this, again, guys, I want you to have a look at all this. You need to have all these locked in at the same time. When you have all these locked in at the same time, right, you will feel amazing. You will be, it just becomes so much easier. A lot of you guys are making your life so much harder by not sleeping properly. You don't have a mission, or maybe you're doing everything right. You're not exercising, or maybe you're just not managing your emotions and you're making mistakes all the time, or maybe you lack self-awareness and you keep forgetting to do all this stuff, or maybe you're just not seeing the boys. You're not hanging out with the boys enough. You're not seeing girls. You're not, talking to your family enough. All this stuff will lead to you burning out. And the more things you're doing wrong at once, the faster you're going to burn out, right? And so be super aware right now as I'm talking to you guys. Like, is this you? What mistake are you making? Honestly, write them down and figure out, okay, what can I do to improve on it, right? Figure out a system that's going to work for you. How can you incorporate all these habits? How can you correct all the mistakes you're having? Figure out a schedule that works with you so you can incorporate these things. And trust me, I guarantee, when you put these inputs in, you will feel good. Just trust that it's going to be input and output, right? Do these things and you're going to feel better and not burn out. And you're going to be more productive, which is going to lead me here, right? Mindset shifts. You need to tell yourself, instead of just, Gary Vee, Alex Hormozy, these guys are psychopaths, by the way. Instead of just work harder, just work smarter with energy cycles. As human beings hunt and they rest, and they hunt and they rest, right? If what you've been doing, if you're disagreeing with me, but you've been burning out every few weeks or months, like, maybe try this out, right? Work in energy cycles. Do things that give you energy, rest and recover, then work hard. Focus on only the key things that actually improve your business rather than just being busy to be busy. Do things outside of your work, outside of your business that make your business work better. Sleeping is productive. Eating healthy is productive. Going to the gym is productive. Why do you think all these entrepreneurs prioritize their health? Because they know that it's like they can't scale their business as efficiently unless they did, right? For whatever reason, that's why they do it, right? And I'm just here to explain that to you guys, why they do it and what you might be doing wrong, right? So, and you want to go from hustling 24/7 to, what is sustainable. And what that is doing all these things the right way. That's sustainable, right? Because you might hustle, you might have this always happens to me. I have an amazing productive day, and then the day after, I have a productive day where I'm just working and I don't hang out with anyone, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I get to the end of the day, I did so much, right? I want this to be my minimum standard every day. But then the day after, you kind of hate your life, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, this happens all the time. So you want to just figure out what is actually sustainable. And it might be every week or 2 weeks where you fall off, right? You want to figure out what's sustainable. Now, instead of resting when you're done, rest is going to give you growth and help you actually perform, right? I can't tell you the amount of times where I went to the gym when I didn't want to, or I went for a walk, or I just forced myself to have a break. And I was like, oh, I'm wasting time. I feel like I should just go back and work and do the work. But all the times where I did do that, like I just went and did the work, I just found myself burnt out shortly after. Whereas like when I actually rest, I come back with way more energy and I'm able to just, again, have more sustainable performance. So take a screenshot of this. I want you guys to ingrain this in your brain and you will scale faster without burning out, right? Now, what this is going to lead to, better productivity, despite what you might think, oh, if I can work 12 hours, well, no. On top of that, the quality of the hours you'll get done if you don't prioritize all these things is going to be terrible. Sorry. If you don't prioritize these things, the quality of your focus is going to be terrible anyway compared to when it's super dialed in, when you're rested and recovered and your health is good, right? Right? And along with that, consistent energy throughout the day. I'm not going to say you're going to be 100% all day. It's kind of hard to do that. You have to be doing everything really the right way. But yeah, healthier personal life. You're going to be, you're not going to neglect all your relationships. You're going to obviously be eating better. You're going to just have a healthier personal life outside of your business, right? And your business is going to grow, right? Trust it for a few weeks and you will look back and be like, wow, I've been happier. I've had more energy. It's showing in my business. I'm able to record content and get on calls and that kind of thing with better energy and my business is shooting up, right? A lot of people, and I understand sometimes, guys, sometimes you have to, even I hate saying that, but sometimes maybe you need to put your health on the side and really focus on work if you're in a crazy period. But 99% of you are not in that period and you're using it as an excuse, right? You've probably been saying that for years, right? So, yeah, just remember this, burnout, you want to transition with the habits and things I told you before, and you're going to break through and you're going to figure out a system that works with you. These energy pillars, daily habits, and mindset shifts are going to be the things that keep you healthy and dialed in and not burning out, right? So yeah, hope you guys found this useful. If you did, leave a like, sub, and comment. And yeah, I've also just opened up my Telegram. It is now a community. I've got 300 guys in there. So if you guys want to join that, have a chat, introduce yourself, or we're just going to help each other with health, energy, performance. A lot of networking opportunities in there as well, 300 entrepreneurs. So yeah, link is in the bio, and I'll speak to you guys in the next one. Ciao.